Welcome to my channel, Love, Light, and Liberty, and I'm your host, Rox Light. Today is Wednesday, June 11th, and our full moon tonight is full moon in Sagittarius. We're currently in Gemini season from May 21st to June 20th, and our full moon will always be in our opposite zodiac sign, so that's why it's in Sagittarius. But for those of you waiting for the full moon in Gemini, it will be this year, December 4th. Tonight's full moon is also known as the strawberry moon. The Native Americans named it strawberry moon because during this time period, this is where the wild strawberry season is. Tonight's full moon show and tell stories consists of three sections. The first one will be going over the Moonology cards for June, the full moon card, and the new moon card. And then the second part will be the June mystery show item, and the third part will be the spooky ghost story. I hope everybody can relax, sit back, get yourself a cup of coffee or tea, and enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to Show and Tell Stories, episode 6. Today is June 11th, Wednesday. Right now, it's a little bit past 8 p.m. here in Texas. The sun is starting to set, so I don't see the full moon yet, but it's coming. Before we get started, I'd like to clear the space with my bell. So tonight, the full moon is going to be in Sagittarius, even though we are currently in Gemini season, since Sagittarius is the opposite of Gemini. So it's look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius, look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. So tonight is the picture on this card, the moon is kind of a pink, but tonight is the strawberry moon. I'm not saying that the moon is going to look like strawberry colored, but strawberry moon named by Native Americans, naming according to what's going on in the world at the time. And it's wild strawberry season time where they would pick wild strawberries. And so that's why they called it strawberry moon. So in honor of that, I got some strawberries from the grocery store this morning. And you might be like, what does that have to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. Um, Strawberries are red, associated with our root chakra, which is considered our grounding, safety, security, feeling stable. And in most strawberries we have here in Texas at the grocery store are from California. However, we do raise strawberries ourselves here in Texas in Poteet, Texas. And so I just started thinking about strawberries, and it's so easy to go to a grocery store and pick strawberries off the shelf, but to find them in the real world, in the woods, like a wild strawberry, that's a different experience. All right, let's get started. Look at the bigger picture of the full moon in Sagittarius. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over things that have minimal effect on your life can be counterproductive, or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's a good to think about things through, sometimes you need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? Now's the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet exactly know what you have. This card is also a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's the best. The universe could surprise you. Attune to the moon. Take time out for a mini break or adventure. Additional meanings for the card is this situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident to win the day. Have you shown you care? If not, now is the time. Find balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. The teaching on this card is the full moon in Sagittarius is a time when we are reminded that life is an adventure and there's a big world, wide world to see beyond our backyard. It's about having fun and being prepared to sail into uncharted territory. It's about big ideas versus the details. No matter when you draw this card, it encourages you to look at the bigger picture. Life as a puzzle. And say our puzzle is 100 pieces, that you live 100 years, let's say. So each piece represents parts of the puzzle. So if you're 5 years old, you're only going to have pieces, so you're not going to see the bigger picture of your life. You're not going to have a clue what the future of your life is going to look like. But as the years go by and you collect the pieces and you put it together, you can start seeing what your life is about. Like, what is your life purpose? So this is why we sometimes people don't see their life purpose until later in life, after they've collected all these years of experience, and then they look back and say, okay, now I get it. So, like, think about this. What would you tell yourself 5 years ago that would be important today to know? Or what would you tell yourself, your younger self, 10 years ago, what you already know today? So yeah, these experiences are shaping our lives into the people we are today, and also to figure out what life purpose is. Okay, it's saying also, mm, get out, have fun. Okay, so go into uncharted territory. So there's a saying out there: all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we don't want to get so caught up in life that we don't get to go out and enjoy anything, that we're just slaving, working, repeat, but we want to be able to experience, like, these experiences are what shape us and help us figure out our purpose in life. So, when was the last time you went out and enjoyed something? And it can be simple. I went out and enjoyed walking the park. And, today I was walking the dog this afternoon, and we were walking past a bunch of wildflowers, which happen to be these yellow ones here. The red carnations are from the grocery store this morning in honor of the strawberry moon here. But I only had the red carnations, and I was like, all these beautiful um, yellow, I guess they're daisies, were out when I was walking the dog. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna pick myself some pretty daisies here, and I'm gonna add it to my little bouquet. And I'm carrying this bouquet of daisies home, and people are driving by are just like looking at me. I mean, hopefully they're looking at me like, oh, that's nice. Maybe I encourage them to go pick some wildflowers. I don't know. It's just a different experience. See what I say when you get out. So when I go to the grocery store and I go get flowers from the florist at the grocery store, that's not the same experience as when I went out, walked the dog, and had to pick these myself. So that's what I'm talking about, different experiences. Same thing with strawberries. Like, what does this have to do with anything? I'll tell you what. I went to the grocery store and just picked these off the shelf. It doesn't have the same effect as last year. Me and the kids, we went to Fredericksburg, Texas. We went to an orchard, peach orchard. But in that peach orchard, they also had where you can pick strawberries and blackberries. And the kids had a wonderful time picking strawberries. And they collected all their strawberries, and natural strawberries aren't like these big GMOs. They're actually like probably like half the size of this. They're very small. Like, this is still very large strawberry. Um, so those are getting out and experiencing different experiences. You feel different about things, or you can see things in a different light about it. It's not the same. All right, I hope that helped. Now, we're going to move on to the end of the month, which is the new moon in Cancer. So Cancer season is coming up here June 21st to July 22nd. We're still in Gemini until June 21st. So the new moon's going to also be on a Wednesday at the end of the month, which is the 25th. For those of you into numerology, I wanted to mention that this card was on page 84, and then our new moon is on page 48. And I thought, well, that's kind of crazy. That's some perfect alignment stuff going on with that. So let's move on to our new moon. In Cancer, you and your loved ones are safe. You and your loved ones are safe. Cancer here, the zodiac sign is the Cram. Now let's think of, we're moving on Gemini. Gemini's air sign into the water signs again. The water signs are the emotional signs. Okay, so there's a news coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so could bring your heart's desire. Tune to the moon. Make sure you put your family first. Additional meanings for the card: let someone get a bit closer to you. A new cycle starting for your childhood children. It's time to review your goals. Have they changed? Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. Spending time near water will bring you peace and answers. The teaching for this card is the new moon in Cancer can be super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign, so also very emotional. Saying that, the moon is also very happy in the sign of Cancer. It's one of the two home signs along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, the card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family matters. Okay, so what I got out of this is, have you been neglecting yourself and need to take better care of yourself? Okay, so when was the last time you did something for yourself to take care of yourself? Healthy bodies, a healthy mind. So it could be simple. Did you go take a walk outside? Did you go take a bath? Did you go to the dentist? What did you do to take care of yourself? Are you so busy in life that you're just neglecting your? Did you eat good today? Did you eat some fruit? Have some strawberries? You know, eating good is the number one thing to our health. The grocery store is our medicine. So we need to consciously think about what we're eating. Like I said, healthy body, healthy mind. And there's some situations that, we're not going to feel good and we still have to go help people. I'm a nurse, I know. How many times have nurses went to work sick and not feeling good and we should have stayed home to take care of ourselves, but we self-sacrificed and went to take care of others. And it happens all the time, but we need to put ourselves first and make ourselves a priority because we're not any good to other people if we're not healthy ourselves. And we're not good for our children either. Our children need us healthy and well too. Okay, so also Cancer saying spending time near water will bring peace and answers. So yeah, any water signs are Scorpio is a water sign, Cancer are water sign, Pisces is the last one. So those are three water signs, and we do enjoy being around water because water does put us back, ground us again. That's what we find is um, to rebalance us, to get us to like think clearly again. And being around water, you're not just around water, you're around birds, nature, sounds of the moving wind. So you're around other things other than just water. And anybody can reground, be outside. But for us, I feel like we're drawn to because that seems to be connected to our zodiac sign. Well, I hope that helps for tonight. So if you got anything out of that positive for your life. So I hope you enjoy the full moon tonight, but stay tuned because next is going to be the show and tell part of the show. All right, welcome to part two, which is show and tell. And if you listened to my show last month, I told you about a cat that I found on a rainy day on Easter on a storm drain. And I want you to play with the fire. This is Stormy. She just woke up. She was laying with the dog. Stormy. She's all black and white with her white little paws. She's really funky, but like I said, she just woke up. So I'll show you guys Stormy, but I'm gonna show you else something else too. But she's so cute. So yeah, when I got her, she was fit in the palm of my hands, and now she's so big. Love it, Stormy. Uh, So my second thing I'm going to show you tonight is a stone that I had gotten before that I was really attracted to at the stone shop. And this is a blue, well, it's kind of a light blue kind of stone. Does anybody know what this one is? And this is a raw piece, a raw chunk of it. And it has specks in there. They're kind of like a dark little specks, rusty looking specks. So that would be iron. All right, I'm going to tell you all about this stone right here. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's called chalcedony. Here, I'll show you the word here. When I bought it, it comes with the little cards to kind of describe it. So I'm going to read the card real quick. Calmness, creativity, and courage. Chalcedony enhances communication with the invisible realms and stimulates telepathy. It gives one the courage to speak from the heart and communicate their feelings with others in an excellent public speaking, and it promotes calm expression of one's thoughts. It is believed to improve the immune system and heal lungs and lower blood pressure. It's connected with the third eye, zodiac sign Aries, affirmation, I express myself clearly, calmly, and I can't say that one. Authentically. Okay. So I looked it up, it said the zodiac sign of Cancer, but for what they gave me here it says Aries. So I'm not sure. This is the throat chakra, like I said, and planet Venus, and it's also called the speaker stone. So if you're having any blockages when it comes to speaking or like saying public speaking, speaking clearly, this stone helps you. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, what this stone does for me, if I'm sleeping too close to it, it makes me dream crazy. So I do believe maybe this has some kind of abilities that anyway, that's how it affects me. So I'm going to read just a couple tidbits in my crystal book associated with this stone so we can learn a little. goblet. It is a quartz. It is a vivid pale blue. Also comes in purple. It's easily obtained. It's not rare. It has a hardness of a 7, which is the same as a crystal, which is pretty hard. It opens the throat chakra and enables the truest forms of self-expression. It eases throat problems, including soreness and coughs. Acts as a soothing balm to cool the deepest emotional wounds. Eases fears and nightmares, bringing peace and serenity. Soothes the lungs and assists with breathing problems, especially if it's related to stress. Again, I'm not here to give you any medical advice. I'm just reading what this book says. Healing effects, place it near the throat chakra to clear any communication blockages or to ease soreness and the loss of a voice. Place over your third eye to open and widen inner perception. Personal uses, place it under your pillow to help troubled sleep, wear over your throat, or carry it with you to ease communication issues. A lot of things can also be in the power of thought. Like if you really truly believe something works, sometimes it can't. That's why we call that placebo effect. And in medical terms, it's like you're not getting the real thing, you're getting a placebo, but you think you're getting the real thing, so it's working because your mind is powerful, right? But this is a form of a crystal. We already know crystals have abilities, and we've talked about it before, how they're used in so many things in our daily lives without us even being aware, because they do have such profound properties that we cannot physically see, but we learned how to tap into them. This blue chalcedony is used in crystal healing to help the eyes, soothing soreness and clarifying vision. It enhances inner peace and restores the body in balance and the mind in balance. It dissolves any negativity around the throat chakra, restoring the ability to communicate clearly. Blue and other shades of chalcedony have been used since antiquity in carving. In ancient Egypt, it was a favorite stone for making scarabs, models of the dung beetle associated with the god Khepri, who was the god of birth and renewal. These were carried as protective amulets. So also when I studied the stone amethyst, they were carving scarabs from that. I didn't know they were using this one as well. Um, so they used it. Okay, in Roman times, chalcedony was carved into beautiful rings, necklaces, with detailed features. All right, that's about it on that. And if you, like I said, this is the raw version stone, which is just a chunk of it, which comes naturally, just chunk off of a made bigger piece. But if you wanted a polished stone, it's going to look something like that, polished, which is a tumbled stone, where they tumble it in a tumbler and then this becomes all shiny and polished. But yeah, the specs inside of this that are kind of rusty looking is iron. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Finally getting dark outside, so maybe see the full moon shortly. Okay, so the last thing is going to be our spooky ghost story. So stay tuned for that. So now it is the spooky ghost story time. It's the Big Book of Texas Ghost Stories by Ellen Brown. And today I picked a story out of here related to San Antonio, since I live in San Antonio. It's called The Manger Hotel. It's on page 176 for anybody that does get this book. A German immigrant named William Manger set up a brewery in San Antonio with Charles Philip Deegan in 1855. In 1859, Manger also opened a hotel. The new hotel was so popular that Manger soon added a 40-room annex. The new addition had a tunnel leading to a nearby brewery, and Manger said to have led many hotel guests on tours through the tunnel to the brewery. Following Manger's death in 1871, his wife and son managed the hotel for the next decade. until they sold it to H.J. Campen in 1881. The Menger Hotel became even more important in San Antonio after the railroad's arrival in 1877, and it remained the city's social hub until the 1930s when it entered a period of decline. It was renovated in the late 1940s and again in the 1980s. After being listed on the National Register of Historic Places, today not only the Menger San Antonio's most famous hotel, but with at least 32 reported ghosts, it is said to be the most haunted as well. The Manger's most um, important ghost is the one of the spirit of Teddy Roosevelt, who stopped at the luxury hotel in 1892 during a javelina hunt. In 1898, Roosevelt visited the Manger again while recruiting cowboys for the Rough Riders. He was reputed to have sat in the bar at the hotel and had drinks and invited his friends and soldiers to join him. Legend has it that when Roosevelt needed assistance from the hotel staff, he walked over to the front desk and tapped out a message in Morse code on the buzzer. 20 years after his death, employees at the hotel continued hearing the tapping of the Morse code on the buzzer. After the hotel was remodeled in the 1940s, the strange buzzing ceased. However, Roosevelt's ghost still occasionally seen sitting at the bar. Another well-known ghost at the Manger Hotel is the spirit of Captain Richard King, an entrepreneur and owner of the King Ranch. King was so rich and powerful that he had his own suite in the hotel. When King's personal physician informed him that he had only a few weeks to live, the cattle baron decided to spend his final days at the Manger. During the time he wrote his will and said goodbye to his friends. His funeral was also held at the hotel. King's apparition has been seen in the King's suite, passing through the wall where the door was once located. Close to the reports of the ghostly activity at the hotel center around much less famous people, a chambermaid named Sally White, who lived in one of the shacks that lined Commerce Street in the late 19th century. On March 28, 1876, after Sally's husband Henry had been particularly abusive during the heated argument, she went to the police station and complained. But the officer in charge told her to go home. Instead, Sally spent the night at the Menger Hotel. According to one variant of the tale, her irate husband went to the hotel the next morning and killed Sally there. Another version says Sally went home the next morning and then she walked through the door. Her husband shot her in the stomach, and when she turned around, Henry shot her in the back. Amazingly, Sally lingered on for 3 days in the local hospital before succumbing to her injuries. After she died, the Menger Hotel paid for Sally's funeral. The receipt from the funeral home is still on display in the lobby. Sally's ghost is usually identified as a female spirit whom guests on the third floor hear crying in the middle of the night. Guests staying on that floor also reported that when they woke up in the morning, jewelry and money had been tossed on the nightstand before they arranged and was rearranged in oddly fashions. Sally's apparition has been sighted in the Victoria wing of the hotel. She is usually described as a young woman wearing a long gray skirt and a bandana on her head, carrying a load of towels down the hallway. The specter of an entirely different woman has been witnessed numerous times on the hotel's original lobby. On many occasions, employees have seen an elderly lady wearing a blue dress, spectacles, and a barrette sitting in the corner knitting. One day, a desk clerk walked up to the woman and asked if she could help her. She looked up from her knitting, nodded slightly, and promptly disappeared. Another ghost is that of a man dressed in a buckskin jacket and gray pants who appeared as to a male guest as he stepped out of the shower. The apparition seemed to be involved in a heated discussion with another person who was not visible. The guest recalled that the frontiersman asked, "Are you going to stay or are you going to go?" 3 times before dissipating into thin air. The kitchen help have also claimed that their work have been interrupted by a poltergeist type entity. Kitchen utensils, silverware, and dishes have been known to levitate in the air. Some objects have floated from one part of the kitchen to another by themselves. Only a small handful of the spirits who are said to haunt the Manger Hotel have been identified. Because of the hotel's close proximity to the Alamo, some of the ghosts are believed to have been spirits of the men who died in battle. The sound of heavy boots stomping up and down the stairs and hallways have led some of the staff to this conclusion. Even though a number of famous people have stayed at the Manger Hotel, it is most fascinating guests that may be the ones who have never left. So I looked up if you want to stay there, if you come to San Antonio and you're interested in staying at haunted hotels, it's about $250 a night to three and up, depending on what suite or how many beds you want. But minimum, it's like 250 a night. It is a 316 room hotel with 3 stories, and they did renovate it last in 2017, and they're currently working on some new renovations again, which is part of a city block or something renovations going on around the Alamo there, because the Alamo is across the street from this hotel. So this hotel is very upscale. It is for rich people, the elite or whatever, because it's luxury. They do like backpack parking. They have their own bar there, their own restaurant. Like I looked up to just eat Sunday brunch there. It's like $50 a plate. Um, Historic wise, they have everything historic inside still that um is from like old times. So even though they upgraded, renovated the hotel, they kept old things still inside the hotel to give it its authentic old look. But it's very upscale. You can look on YouTube if you want to look up what the Manger Hotel looks like. I had a friend that did stay there, but she said she wanted to experience a ghost. Um, she wasn't in tune enough, I guess, because nothing happened for her on that. But I don't really feel like staying at places that, I mean, I tell you things are haunted everywhere you go, but I don't really feel like going to a hot spot because I would be afraid that one would want to attach to me and walk home with me and stay with me forever. And I don't think I want that, you know. I think I wouldn't mind going there to eat and just I'll walk around and just take a look at it because there's like in San Antonio, there's a lot of ghost tours and everything like that, and Manger Hotel is part of uh, ghost tours and stuff. So I don't know, maybe it's something for someone. If you're into that and you want to stay at haunted hotels, that would be the place to go. And it is very elegant, and they have a ballroom. People even get married there and stuff like that. So check it out. Let me know what you think of that one. But yeah, that's in San Antonio. All right, you guys, it's already dark outside, as you can see, because I left the blinds open as I was doing this video, and as the video goes on, it kept getting darker, right? So I'm gonna go out there with the dog here in a bit and see if I can see the strawberry moon tonight. So enjoy the full moon, you guys, and I'll see you next month. It'll be coming up July again, so wow, this year went fast. All right, take care. Have a good night.